you tonight. I want to call our meeting to order. Let the record reflect that all of our aldermen are here present. By phone tonight is Mr. William Hall and also Mr. Chris Watson, who will take part in this as we proceed. At this time, I'd like to recognize Pastor Brooks, who will lead us in prayer, and Alderman Powell, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand.
Let us bow. Gracious Heavenly Father, truly we thank you for this blessed day, this opportunity to come together once again as a city, as a whole. We just pray, oh Heavenly Father, for these meetings that all things will be done decently and in order. We just thank you for all those that are in attendance and those that may have a desire to be here but can't be here. Father, we just thank you so much for all that many blessings and how you continue to bless us. So we ask blessing upon this city, along with its leaders and these residents as well. We just thank you, thank you, thank you in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I couldn't help but notice we have 3 flags. Ms. Kellum, you want to tell us about the flag that you designed for us?
Well, I didn't design it. The city of Gluckstadt designed it, and I thought it turned out very, very nice. We're taking it to MML for the parade of flags. So we just got it. I think it looks very nice.
Awesome. Great job. Great job. All right, I'm going to take those items under number 3 a little bit out of order, not terribly out of order. At this time, I'd like to recognize Elizabeth Tyler with the Gluckstadt Madison Business Alliance for item 3B. Yes, ma'am. We usually do those over here, so everybody can see.
All right. On behalf of the Gluckstadt Madison Business Alliance, Jamie Lake, our president, and I are here to present the Gluckstadt Police Department with the check. The proceeds from our stat scramble. It took a lot of volunteers, our ambassadors, our board, and our sponsors. But in spite of a rain out, well, it really did rain out. We had a lunch and were able to play 2 holes, and then the sky fell in. But even so, we were able to raise $5,000. This is for gym equipment for the new police department.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Great. Thank you.
Have equipment that will be used. Seems like I've done this today.
Elizabeth, Jamie,
Thank
thank you. And thank you to all of you for all that. All right, Chief Hale, item 3C, yours.
Yes, Mayor and Board and everyone else, I would like to recognize one of my lieutenants, or my only lieutenant, Stephen Tucker. If you would come up. He doesn't like this at all. He was awarded Gluckstadt's top cop for 2024 at a conference in Jackson. So I want to formally recognize him in front of all y'all. Very proud of him. He's done nothing but everything I've asked him since we started. He's done an outstanding job. He not only has he closed out a lot of cases, I'm sure y'all keep hearing us talk about the Ben Nelson case that was over $100,000 worth of stuff was taken that he solved, and got 2 people waiting to be indicted. So, and not only that, he's done other stuff as well. He is, he helped back when we had the tornado drive. He put that together, and he helped get an elderly female who get a new roof on the house. Just out of the kindness of his heart. So that is why he is this 2024 top cop. Mayor, will you come?
I will.
Sheriff, would you like to come up here?
Not mine. you.
I drive slow, like, in the picture.
He's, if I might say something, he's, and I hate to say it, but he's actually on the, countywide SWAT
Yeah, I'm
team.
gonna say that too.
We offer for all the municipalities to, assign personnel from their departments to the countywide SWAT team, which we offer to the sheriff's department, and Steve is one of now 3 members with, Gluckstadt Police Department, who represent the city, and it's a combined effort, of manpower and resources that, is just another, benefit to the city, of Gluckstadt and the county. So I appreciate the mayor and the chief allowing them to participate with us, and hopefully we can help the city out as well. So, and I'm proud of them, and it breaks my heart and makes me nervous every time I see them.
She makes me nervous every time.
1, 2, 3.
Well, I will tell you from my perspective, his relentless devotion to the Gluckstadt Police Department. I mean, he is in that office hours and hours and hours above and beyond the call of duty to get his work done. And he I know he doesn't like me bragging on it. So when he gets you like a dog with a bone, he gets a hold to it, he's not gonna let it go. So thank you and congratulations. Well deserved. Alderman Powell, 3D.
Yes, sir, thank you. So, Friday, June the 21st is International Go Skateboarding Day. When I was 14 years old, moved to Mississippi, one of the first people I met at Clinton was a skate punk. I'd always wanted to skateboard, and we became good friends, and it led me on a journey of, I guess where I am now. I'm 52 and still like to get out and cruise around. It's also taught me a couple things. It taught me patience and perseverance because, to get on a skateboard and to learn a trick, you may try a trick 100 times before you ever actually succeed on that trick. So, it's definitely not for quitters, and it's easy to fall, it's easy to break something, but it's also very fulfilling to get out and to do. So we have a resolution of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Gluckstadt designating June the 21st as Go Skateboarding Day. Whereas the International Association of Skateboarding Companies established Go Skateboarding Day in 2004 to make skateboarding a community event and bring people together. And whereas June the 21st is internationally recognized as Go Skateboarding Day to encourage people to get out and go skate. And whereas on this day, skateboarders are encouraged to put aside their smartphones, video games, and computers to make the sport their priority. Wherefore, it is hereby resolved by the Mayor and Board on the Aldermen of the City of Gluckstadt, Mississippi, as follows. The City of Gluckstadt declares June the 21st as Go Skateboarding Day to encourage people to get out and go skate. So I'd like to make that motion, sir, for the resolution.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Alderman Powell. Great idea, great cause. I'm not getting on ski. All right, at this time, let's move to item 3F. Do we have any representatives here from the Mayor's Youth Council?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to recognize Hannah Cole and Matthew Latham. You've come forward. I want to congratulate both of you for being this year's scholarship recipients from the Mayor's Youth Council and the City of Gluckstadt. I'd like to take this opportunity to present both of you with a check for $500. Thank you, Matthew.
One, two, three. Congrats, guys. That's amazing.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Alderman Powell, item 3E.
Yes, sir. If I could at this time ask Ms. Addison Cato to come forward for me. Ms. Cato is a student at Germantown High School, serves on our Gluckstadt Mayor's Youth Council. And she also will be representing the city of Gluckstadt as our first Miss Teen City of Gluckstadt. So congratulations. So we've got a resolution here. Whereas Allison Cato is a native of Gluckstadt, Mississippi, and a current student at Germantown High School. And whereas Addison was crowned Miss Teen City of Gluckstadt 2024, and will represent the city of Gluckstadt as the Miss Teen Mississippi pageant. And whereas Addison is actively involved in the community and currently serves as a member of the Mayor's Youth Council, wherefore it be hereby resolved by the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Gluckstadt, Mississippi as follows. The City of Gluckstadt wishes to recognize and congratulate Allison Cato on being crowned Miss Teen City of Gluckstadt. The Mayor, I'd like to make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Williams seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations, Ms. Cato. You can get a picture and you can also speak if you're comfortable and want to do that.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. I just left you a camp, so I have no voice.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Mr. Taylor, 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations.
If you don't mind.
Absolutely. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I had to write it down because I'm not really good at remembering things. But my name is Addison Claire Cato, and I'm the daughter of Preston and Daytona of Gluckstadt. I've lived in the Germantown neighborhood next to Miss Lisa for about 7 years now. And I am a junior at Kent Academy. It's okay. And I'm the student body vice president and a member of the National Honor Society at my school. This year I was received at cheer camp. I got the Pennant Board Award, which is given to the person who did the most, like, best personality, is always hyping people up, and is just an overall good person. I'm a 4-time All-American cheerleader, and I have gotten the opportunity to go cheer at Disneyland and London. And I'm also dedicated to my time at the City of Gluckstadt, and I'm involved in the Mayor's Youth Council and Madison Synodics. I was recently nominated for the Congress of Future Medical Leaders Award of Excellence and aim to elevate epilepsy healthcare and awareness in my Mississippi's program thing. We have, where we go, we have to have like a foundation, and both of my sisters have epilepsy. So that's where I decided to put my foundation in with St. Jude. And thank you for inviting me to come to this meeting, and it was nice seeing you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just want to tell you congratulations. Yes, we are neighbors a few houses down. She's an amazing big sister too. She's like mother hen when the little girls are out riding the bike, just doing what sisters do. But they are a great family, great neighbors, sweetest young ladies. You're going to represent us well.
All right, thank you. At this time, Ellen?
Gosh, I wish you were bringing me in for
This is item number 3A.
Ellen Morgan with Morgan Stone, and I appreciate you inviting me here today. Behind all the awards, oh gosh, maybe you are going to awards business of the year or something. It's a little bit different agenda, right? I think to save us a lot of time, because I know all of you, you know, you have a nice agenda that you want to move on to. I thought I would begin with my summary. How's that sound?
That's perfect. Just for the record, I invited Ms. Morgan here today to update us on the Morgan Stone business. They are just desperately trying to build in the city that was approved. It went through all of our various approval processes. They hit a major roadblock, and I wanted her to be able to update the board on that. And you now have the floor. Have at it.
Thank you. December 2022, we were grateful that y'all approved our business. We had the MDOT approval to begin, the work and all the approval for the highway and driveways and everything. Y'all approved everything so much, December 5th, we called 811. We're ready to break ground. I don't think you get any closer to building than that one. What I learned from that phone call is when you have 811, don't just call before you dig. I want you to call them before you buy. Because had we called them before we bought the property, we would have learned about this Gulf South pipeline. And we didn't know it was there, it wasn't on our drawings, so all that to skip into. At that point, we learned by Danny with Gulf South that his pipeline was only like 18 inches deep. The pipe is 90 years old. And they don't want heavy equipment or any cars and commercial traffic going over that pipeline. And as much as we respect that, it's just at this point, I've learned so much that it's not just us anymore. It's not our business anymore. Your city of Gluckstadt has a real concern. Two concerns is one, you have no growth on the west side of Highway 51. And it's mainly because of this pipeline. It's not about Morganstone anymore, but I'm learning your landowners on the west side of Highway 51 are not being able to get onto their property. We're basically landlocked. And in addition to that, people are not able to sell their property because it's kind of been let out there. So you can't sell the property, you can't grow the property, you can't build on the property because you can't cross the pipeline. So along the way, we've learned that it's not only hurt the growth of the property, but now in the past few weeks, I've learned a lot about safety. And this pipeline is a 6-inch metal pipe, and it runs, our concern is that it runs from the new Reunion Parkway. We're all familiar with that on the west side. It goes all the way to Canton. And the challenge is with all of us landowners on that side, I'm learning that that pipe is, in some areas, it's exposed. On our property at the ditch between us and our neighbor across from Twin Cedars neighborhood, you've got about 6 or 8 foot of pipe exposed. And it's a metal pipe. So not only in some areas is it too shallow, it's not very, very, very deep. In some areas, the pipe is only very, 5 inches to 6 inches, maybe 18 inches like it is on some of the part of our property. So our concern is, you let a car wreck happen on that ditch with that pipe that's 90 years old. I don't have to tell you what's going to happen when the gas line explodes in your community. So that's where I want to end my summary because now, we don't have to build a stone yard. We would love to. I think we got over $100,000 invested in our building plans, our engineering plans. What do we have, sweetie?
Architects, lawyers, everybody got to be there.
Yeah, so we got over 100,000 invested. So I think we're committed. We called 811. We're ready to build. And it stopped everything. And as much as I can say, wow, we just want to open our business, it's not about us anymore. We honestly don't have to open here as much as we'd like to. But I think you have a bigger concern about your growth in your community from here to Canton. And I think the other concern is safety. Just drive by our property and look at that pipe. It's 5, 6, 8 feet of pipe. It's just exposed now. It has no support. And if a car went off in that ditch, it's gone. So that's just kind of where I left off. I will add that I think the reason you and I have talked recently, I want to make sure we understand there's 2 different gas companies we're talking about. Originally, it was Gulf South Pipeline. They are the supplier to companies like CenterPoint. Okay. Well, CenterPoint right now, if you go at 51 over the past 2 weeks, you've seen them laying a new pipe on the west side. They're going from Reunion Parkway up to what I say is Yandell, but y'all will tell me it changes names across the street. What is that street? Yes. So from that Reunion Parkway to that road, they have upgraded their pipe, laid a new 6-inch pipe there. They bored underground all the way. They had the courtesy to call us as landowners and say, hey, landowner, we are about to do some work on your property. we want to talk with you. So I met with them, took our plans out there. They wanted to know what we're doing, what we're building. They said, well, we're going to fix that. We're going to go 8 feet deep when we bore and lay this pipe. It will not disturb your business or our pipe. We're going to do that, in advance. So we don't have to worry about it when you do build. So I'm only telling you, CenterPoint had the courtesy to call us, tell us what they're going to do, and they're accommodating our needs, and they're not charging me or any landowner. And I have a problem with that.
What did Boardwalk do in an effort to try to accommodate you?
Boardwalk and Gulf South has done nothing but give us heartache. Period. And I have records and I have files and I have papers that I have researched. I have learned so much. I can just tell you so much about Boardwalk and Gulf South. I have names, I have numbers. The governor's office, I went to them for procedure. What procedures do I need to follow to do this right and do what is etiquette and professional? They gave me a list and I went to every state agency. I've been to, and it's all documented, but I've been to your Department of Public Service Commission, yeah, and the MDOT people and all their folks. Somewhere, I just have a hard time believing these big gas companies have not been given funding through state and federal funding to upgrade their pipes. I have a real concern about that. So I'm out here digging, trying to discover where it is, where's the funding, because again, I don't have to have a stone yard. It's just going to put more work on us. I'm 57 years old. I mean, I don't have to do it. But at this point, your community should not be stalled. I think there needs to be a move from that pipe company to say, hey, just like CenterPoint said, hey, Miss Morgan, we want to accommodate for you. And Gulf South and Boardwalk has been a nightmare. And I'm quoting a person, I don't know if you know her, but she's with Boardwalk, Miss Gina. She told me herself when this first happened, we were 6 months into it, and she said, Miss Morgan, they will put you through blank, blank. She said, you will not get anywhere with this company. She says, I'm so sorry what they're going to put you through. And she's right. And she works for them. She says, I see it every day. She said, y'all are the little ones and you won't be hurt. I said, well, thank you for the challenge because I like it. So okay. That's where we are.
Is there anybody here from Boardwalk or Gulf South? I personally met with their local lawyers and some lawyers they brought in from Texas to my office. And their opinion and their perspective and their position was basically ain't our problem. I invited them to come here tonight for this meeting, and they declined. So we're working to do what we can to try to help you and to try to help those other people overcome this problem.
Well, I appreciate you doing that, and we know that you are. I think we strongly feel like part of your Gladstadt family. We want to be here. I think one thing that's not been mentioned today is what have they done for us. They did. Miss Gina told me I would not get in writing a price for the work to be done for us to pay. And I said, oh, I'm going to get it. And I did. It took a year, but back in November, I got a contract from them. It's here. And it says that they would, it's a contract saying that I'll pay $600,000 up front, which is more than we paid for the property. And after the $600,000, they'll proceed and do the work. And when all the work is done, they'll send me the final bill. Is anybody going to put up $600,000 and wait on the final bill? I don't think so. I mean, it's out there. I think somewhere we've got to understand that it's not about Morganstone anymore. I think it's about your city and the growth of your community. I think we're being taken advantage of, and it's a safety issue. I have called all the way to DC about the safety issue, and is it hazmat and all these people, what are their guidelines? Those pipes are supposed to be upgraded, by the way, and it's 90 years old and nothing's been done. And I just find it hard to believe there's not funding somewhere that they're holding or spending elsewhere. But Gladstadt deserves to be recognized and heard and get that cleaned up from here to Canton.
All right. Thank you, Ms.
You're
Morgan.
welcome.
Question.
Yes, sir. Mr.
Is that the only option they've given you to resolve this? Is they'll come in and I guess bury the pipe deeper and charge you $600 plus? But there's no other option?
Oh, they said that we could have one driveway and they would come in and do that for a smaller driveway, but you know what? You've already approved our plan, we're gonna move forward, and if we don't, we're just gonna pause there. Just, you know, I mean, again, we don't have to do it, but I'll tell you, I've met several of the highway. I know one person, she has 2 properties on Highway 51 on the west side. One's an 11-acre tract, and it's valued at $400,000. They priced her $200,000 for one driveway, which is half the value of the property. So she's pulled it off the market and can't even sell it at this point. The other property that she owns is a 9.6 acre tract, and that property was in a situation of, in 2017 or 2019, the pipe was leaking. It had a gas leak. So they bored deep, put all new piping under there and fixed it because there was a leak. Somebody paid for that. I know that when you go back in here where they have crossed highways and made Reunion Parkway, just do your research. You know, certain cities didn't pay for the service and other communities did. And it's complicated, but we're optimistic that somewhere I would like to see Gladstone benefit from all of this and grow and get these lots sold so people can. You've got a corner lot that wants to do $100 million sports complex next to us, by the way, and they too can't move forward. That's the Warren family. So that's where we are, and safety is probably our biggest concern at this point. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
There's an engineering audience that's talking. Barry, did you ask Bradley Fletcher to come back in? He just stepped out the door. He was sitting right there in front of y'all. He's with Stay Tag. Bradley.
Right, yes.
Coming back in. I asked the mayor, would it be okay to ask you a question? If you feel it's appropriate, I know, is Stay Tag involved on the reunion phase on that side?
Yes, we are. Actually, it's actually Green Oak is where we did the design for Green Oak, and Reunion is, our Reunion project ties to the west side. We did the design for the Green Oak project, which goes east and west at Channel intersection right there. Our experience with that pipeline is, it's uphill. And I know MDOT, and just not getting a lot of detail, MDOT had major challenges getting them to move that gas line, and it's on MDOT right away. MDOT owns that property.
That's where I'm going. It's on MDOT right away.
Well,
But they got them to move it for Reunion.
correct, yes.
It's a road project.
For a road project,
And
I'll say
on
on
the
the
road
project, they
project.
own MDOT. I will say it was very, very difficult.
Okay,
Very.
all right.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's now move to item 4. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Mr. Taylor made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slay seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item 5. Our monthly budget reports and bank reconciliations are all FYI matters. Absent questions about either of those, I'll move to item 6. Item 6A, discussion of the German Fest and additional planning of future events. Mr. Powell.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us added to the agenda. So at our last board meeting, we kind of discussed that how German Fest had kind of gone to the wayside. There was a lot of, it was always a big event for the city before it became a city, and then it became a city, and I think we may have had it 1 year or so, and then last year they chose not to move forward with it. It was an event that citizens within the city as well as people outside the city love to come to and participate in. And I would just like to have some discussion about going forward about whether it's a church, if they're going to continue with German Fest, and if not, if they would be willing to either work with the city and or the city host some kind of a festival for the city. So I work with, I help out with the Flowood Family Festival every year with, Balloon Glow with the city of Ridgeland. And these are events that you have, people from all over come in and help generate some revenue for the city. And it's just something that we've enjoyed and like to see happen again. I've talked to a lot of people that want to see it happen. I've had the pleasure of working with Dusty on, with, Flowood Family Festival with, Balloon Glow. So we kind of met and chatted and asked him if he'd be willing to come in and kind of chat with us some about potential, for either our own German Fest or partner with this church.
Sure. What does St. Joe Church say about German Fest and about the city being involved in it?
I have no, I can't speak on that.
Mr. Miniger is here.
I'm sorry?
Mr. Miniger is here, and he may be able to enlighten us.
Carrie, you have some information about this?
So I met with Bob Matthews last week and talked with him about it. And he said that there was a concern, the reason the church didn't do it this year was there was concern about having the leadership they needed to do it. Apparently some of the people that headed up some of the committees and backed off, and they haven't had some people step up to take those positions. He was going to talk to the chairman of the German Fest Committee to see what his thoughts were, to see if they could push forward with it. I suggested to him that they ask the congregation, you either step up, fill those positions and do it, or you don't, and the city can look at taking it over. So that was the last conversation I had with him, as he was going to talk to the chairman of the German Fest Committee to see what his thoughts were. So that's kind of where it stands.
Okay, thank you. We certainly don't want to have it appear that we're trying to steal German Fest from the church, but if the church isn't going to do it, or if they otherwise want our help, then I think we would certainly entertain the possibility of doing that. So, Mr. Alderman, you wanted to speak?
Yes, sir. You guys should have a document in front of you, a few pages there. To do a festival, I mean, I know you guys are familiar with Flowood, Ridgeland, Pearl. To get to that scale, it's taken them 15 to 20 years to grow to that. You don't just come out of the gate swinging and all of a sudden have a $200,000 or $300,000 budget to produce a festival. That being said, it's just a lot of information. I know we'll have to table a lot of this for now, but just want to go through the goals of this meeting. Gain input from you guys. I guess that could be a secondary meeting as well. Like where we are now, I'll drop down to C right there. First item you need to do is form an event committee. And I've worked with Lindsay in the past at the town of Livingston for some events. And she knows the process as well. It's very meticulous, 1,001 details in every single step of the way. So I was just going to try to encourage you guys to probably take the same steps that these other larger municipalities have taken. They form a resort status area. So you can have the liquor sales, the beer sales, and the food sales also. They take a 2% resort tax off of that. And that's what fully funds all of their events, their community projects, their concerts. So that's why Pearl was able to do a free concert with a $100,000 act coming in. Or Flowood, we just had over 15,000 people come in with a $100,000 budget there for a free show. So this 2% goes in there to take care of that, stuff to subsidize that. But in addition to, you do need to form a committee to where you can community outreach. Without community support, you don't have an event. Your businesses need to be behind you. Your citizens need to be behind you. And in order to, I guess, get that camaraderie of everybody, it's a process. You're gonna have to meet with them. You're gonna have to form a committee, somebody to a liaison for you guys to take actions quickly, so we don't have to, table this and get a vote on the board. So the reason I'm saying the committee, a 501c entity of however you guys want to set up, to where the funds come in and they can go out just as quickly as they come in, not having to have board approval, because when things need to happen, things need to happen. And as far as the bidding process goes, bring in vendors, contractors, stuff like that. So I guess what I've laid before you is kind of an overview, and it's a lot of information in there, and it's just too much information to go through in this meeting right now. So I would like to challenge in the sense of to get a festival committee formed, form a chairman, treasurer to look after the money, and start sourcing potential sponsors. I really think you have a giant over here with Germantown High School. To have them tied into it, to bring out their marching band. How many people do they have in the marching band? 200, 250? That's 2 parents, that's brother and sister, that's an aunt and uncle, built-in audience, very little marketing that you could draw in. You could bring in their ROTC, you could bring in their booster clubs. That could be very small and not a lot of work to put into it to get a huge draw and a huge return off of minimal investment. So it's more of building community outreach, getting everybody on the same page. All these businesses come together for a common goal, and it just kind of helps spread hope and goodwill through the community. It's the main goal behind it.
Sure.
But you need to allow it to grow, to allow it to stand on its own 2 legs. Because you don't need to completely, every year the city doesn't need to keep subsidizing the budget for it. It needs to be able to grow and morph into its own event, stand on its own 2 legs and walk by itself. So I guess that's the challenge here, is to see if you guys want to take it to the extra step to form a festival committee, and I'll be glad to help out however I can, consult, or I guess I'm not the whole puzzle. I can help put the 4 corners in place, but it's a lot of planning that goes into it. And there's just so much that one person can't do. It's going to have to rely on a committee to be over different departments of the festival or the event, to delegate down, as you guys earlier, how the trickle down effect of, how to delegate responsibilities and get things done, and have a monthly meeting or starting lead up to the event, a weekly meeting to see what's been done, what I's have been dotted, what T's have been crossed, what else needs to be readdressed. So with that,
I think at this point, what we probably should do is let's touch base back with St. Joseph Church, see what their intentions are. Once we can discern what they intend to do, we can come back and form committees and do the types of things you're suggesting.
Yes.
Are there any questions?
I have a question. What's the most recent municipality or village or community you work with to help get this going off the ground?
My first client, I guess they were just starting off. They were trying to involve the entertainment side of it. It was Pearl Day Festival. That was about 13 years ago.
That's the most recent?
So from a ground level, starting at the bottom and coming up, that they already had their festival in place, but I just kind of added 2. They started me off with a $10,000 artist budget. Now we got it built up to $200,000.
Right. With the resort tax?
Yes, ma'am.
Funding it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
But there's also sponsors that subsidize that as well. So a lot of the cities, they don't go after a sponsor for each individual event. You want to go for a city, you want to go after these sponsors for annual. So when they give that sponsor money, their name and logo or however branding you want to present to them is at every single city event. It's an annual.
All the time.
So yeah, annual sponsorship.
So does Pearl have a 501c3?
They have a Pearl Day Festival Committee is what they have, which is nonprofit. And that's, I'm sorry.
What was it called again?
It's called the Pearl Day Festival Committee is the name they came up with. So semantics.
What kind of time frame? I assume at least 12 months to do proper planning.
Well, in that document that's stapled together, it kind of lines that out. Typically, I mean, if you want to rush it, 6 to 8 months, but typically you want to do about 10 to 12. Typically, because I'm actually working on 2025 events now for next spring already. But it's just that it takes that much time to put the pieces together.
All right, any additional questions? Mr. Alderman, thank you for being here.
And you have an excellent contractor here I've worked with for years. He can help out with tables, tents, chairs, dance floors, everything.
And some fans.
Yeah, and fans, yeah.
All right, thank you for coming, Mr. Alderman.
Yes, sir.
All right, at this time, let's move to item 7A. Mr. Watson is going to update us on the status of the comprehensive plan and overlay districts. Mr. Watson?
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
We hear you loud and clear, Chris.
Good. So
I know everybody just like me is ready for this thing to get done and get in place so that y'all can have a better control on development. So we are not too far from being where we want to be. So I think back in April, I circulated to you all the first, I believe it was 4 chapters of the plan. When I get back in the office on Thursday morning, I'm going to give you the goals and objectives portion of the plan. And what I would like to do going forward is I'm going to start having workshops with you all. But I don't think, what I don't want to do is wait until the entirety of the plan is prepared and give it to you, tell you to review it, and then, you know, let's modify and massage in that. Let's do it. Let's do it a little along the way, so to speak. So what I would like to do is perhaps maybe the first week in July is let's set up a workshop so that we can have, you know, any necessary discussions, questions, alterations to the first 5 chapters of the comprehensive plan. Now, most of those chapters are just statistical data and factual data. There's really not a whole lot there. There may be some questions that flow out of it. The goals and objectives portion is a pretty involved mental exercise in thinking through what some of this language means and how it applies to Gluckstadt. So I guess, Mayor, I can coordinate with maybe Lindsay and or William about getting everyone together early in July to do that.
When you say everybody, do you want the board all together?
I would like to have the board and the planning commission.
Okay, so we would just need to call a public meeting in order to accomplish that. And yeah, Ms. Kellum can definitely coordinate that with you.
That's right. And I just, you know, I want it to be relaxed, informal. I want us to have a conversation about the shape this plan is taking. No pressure, but I do. By the time we get to that workshop, I do want everyone to have reviewed the material. So here's the way I'm thinking we're going to play this out. So I'm going to give you goals and objectives on Thursday morning with an eye toward a workshop at the beginning of July. Now, between now and that July workshop, I'm going to switch my attention to a regulatory document that we've put together. It still needs a bit of review, and that is a form-based code. And that form-based code is a component from a regulatory standpoint to achieve the form of development that we've talked about, the village district concept. Okay. So by the time we get to that July meeting, I want to be able to give you all either a complete or substantially complete draft of that form-based code and let you start looking at that. Meanwhile, I'll turn my attention back to some of the remaining chapters of the comprehensive plan. We're just kind of step through this 1 foot at a time, reviewing different pieces of the program. Ultimately, what I want to do is to have all of this in place by the time we go to trial in the annexation case. That's mid-September. So we're going to, assuming everyone's schedule works out, we're going to have a number of workshops between now and then. And there's going to be lots of questions and changes and adjustments and that type of thing. But I'm ready to get this over and done with. I know y'all are too. That's where I see us going forward.
Okay, let me just throw this comment in. You know, not only is the board, I know, anxiously awaiting the opportunity to review this and ultimately to adopt the comprehensive plan and this overlay district. But we've begun, we being me, we've begun hearing from some of the landowners who own property within the overlay district, who are, you know, somewhat concerned about how it's going to impact their property rights. I think they're apprehensive as well in terms of trying to understand how they can market and use their property and how the overlay district is going to impact that. Yesterday I met with Mr. Lee Hutchinson, who's here tonight, to talk about exactly that. His family owns a pretty significant parcel of land that falls right in the overlay district. So I know Mr. Hutchinson and his partners, et cetera, have questions and concerns about that all as well. And I know he would want to attend whatever workshops or meetings we have and be heard on all of that, and I would welcome that. So there might be others as well. So
sure.
I think it's a good idea. I think everybody is ready to move forward with all haste. So the sooner you can get it to us, the better. Do any of you guys have questions of Mr. Watson while we're here tonight?
I'd like for that, Chris, whatever you said you've sent, could you send it to me? Or could someone forward it through Wednesday again? I don't recall seeing that at all.
Yeah, we can forward it to you. We've got it. We can make sure you get it.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Hutchinson, yesterday I invited you here today and told you I'd give you the opportunity to speak or be heard or ask questions. And I'm giving you that opportunity now. Do you want to wait until the July workshop?
Be more fitting.
Your questions are, you're okay for the moment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
for what it's worth, a significant landowner like Mr. Hutchinson, I recognize that he would be impacted. I'd like to meet with him myself, even before the July meeting.
Great. Well, we will definitely put you in contact with him, and I know he'd love to meet with you and talk about the issue. He has some concerns, understandably so.
Well, sure. I mean, landowner, here's the long and short of it. Landowner acceptance of the plan is pretty darn important, because at the end of the day, when the landowner is trying to sell the property or develop the property, and the city is trying to regulate the property, you know, the closer you two can be to the same page, the easier that process is.
Okay.
So that's what we want to accomplish.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Watson. Ms. Hutchinson, you go. We'll put you guys in touch with each other. Lindsay, you'll help facilitate that, so y'all can, and again, obviously have your partners and whoever else
Thank you, Mayor.
who's interested. Okay. Chris, is that all?
That's it.
Okay,
Thank y'all.
sir. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. I circulated to you guys the update, which would be considered our municipal court update. For you as an FYI matter earlier this week, maybe yesterday. Let's move to item 9. Ms. Ruth, you're here to talk about the grant status of things and update the board.
Yes, sir.
I can't. You got it. Here we
You have
go.
more?
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Give it
Mr. Mayor, we had a conversation about the walking trail that we applied for under the Outdoor Foundation. I talked to the gentleman over that, and the application was declined because our plan did not have native plants included in that proposal. So we can reapply, and when we do, we're gonna have to change that up.
Okay.
We're gonna have to include that.
Okay.
And there's no hit for being declined. We didn't apply for
the recreational trails program through Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, because if you're turned down once, you get a hit when you apply again.
Okay, when can we apply then for the outdoor stewardship fund for the walking trail?
That's going to be next spring.
Okay,
No, I'm sorry, that's going to be August, around August.
That's August.
September, yeah.
This year or next?
So this is, no, this year.
This year.
So for fiscal year 2025 is when that money will come into.
we would apply in August and
Yeah,
hopefully get it next. And then the
Wildlife.
Wildlife and Fisheries Recreational Trails Program, we can make application for it when?
January of next year.
Okay,
Future funding that we're looking at, William's not here, but Chris can attest that everybody needs cars. Everyone needs cars. Public Works, building and PD, they all need cars. And we are aggressively looking for that. And it's also one of the toughest things to find unless you get into a Super Duty vehicle, which Chris, I think we can make a Super Duty vehicle work for Chris.
We got two.
A heavy duty, I should say.
Heavy duty or.
Okay. Bulletproof Vest Partnership is opening up. They will reimburse 50% of vests. We don't have a huge vest budget. Well, it will, I mean, it'll help out a little on the police's, on the PD's equipment budget. Little foundation funding issue. Alderman Powell sent this to the mayor. It's T-Mobile, and it's for small town. It's grants for small towns. They award up to 100 towns a year, up to 50,000 per award. We're pretty sure we're going to put it towards the park. We're fairly 90. I'd say 90. Chris and I talked about it. We're 80 to 90% sure we're going to put it towards the park. We just don't know what we're going to do with it yet. It's only $50,000, but we will go after it.
is that on this?
It is.
I'm lost because I'm not seeing those.
I'm not seeing some of this, yeah.
Well, I don't have anything specific for the vests and the cars.
What's it called?
Not the T-Mobile.
T-Mobile?
Yeah, it's a foundation grant through T-Mobile.
A question, that there are two grant options here, I guess, for walking, for both of these walking trails through the Park and Wildlife and Fisheries recreational trails. I know that's for the park. That's kind of in conjunction with the walking trail. Are these for the same, I guess, product?
We're looking at a walking trail on Calhoun Station Parkway as well.
Okay.
We have a couple areas where we like to have some sort of walking strip.
Okay.
Questions? Questions?
Can we get this report monthly with our content, please?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, Ms. Reed.
I've got 9B.
Yep, 9B.
Grant permission for the mayor to sign the form that is in your package. And what this is doing is it's for our one matrix ALPR unit, which is on the, it's a 3-lane ALPR for the Calhoun Station Church site. And what this form does is when the mayor signs it and I submit it, is it's going to add the city of Gluckstadt to the existing state contract. So this is a no bid process.
Okay, any questions?
Calhoun Station Church?
Calhoun
Is that what you said?
and Church Street.
Oh, Church, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so you want the board to allow me to approve my signing of this?
Yes, please.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Ms. Bates made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Powell seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Ms. Ruth.
You're welcome.
Ms. Kellum, item 10.
Yes, Mayor, I just have a few updates. As y'all are probably aware from reading the news, PERS is going into effect on July 1st. The good news is that we're only gonna go up a 0.5% increase to 17.9 for employer contributions. So, our first payroll in July will reflect that change. We are right in the middle of FY25 budget season, so we are meeting with department heads on Thursday. And then we will start holding budget workshops once a month until September. And as y'all are aware, we have to adopt the budget by September 15th. And that's all I have.
No, you have item 10C.
Oh. We can skip that one. Also, I'm graduating as a certified municipal clerk in June, so after 3 years of courses. I'm pretty excited about that.
This is June.
Well, in a couple weeks, but at MML, I'll have my little graduation.
How many hours of study did you?
It's about 60.
60 hours?
It's 3 classes a year, basically, or 3 conferences a year.
Well, that's great. Congratulations.
I'm
I know you
excited.
worked hard.
I'm gonna go for my master's, I think, if that's okay with you guys.
Awesome. You got your BS, now you can.
And I will say that Scott will be graduating next year. So we're going on track to have our certification. As you know,
You can just maybe walk with her.
city clerks wear many hats and we need all the education. So we appreciate the opportunity for y'all letting us do it.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mr. Moore, did you want to add anything to 10B? We good. Any questions about privilege licenses?
Good job, Mr. Long.
All right. Mr. Hall, we're on item number 11.
Yes, sir. Just a quick general update about the building department, planning and zoning. We issued 17 permits in the month of April. Total of all those permits was $19,062. We had 32 inspections. And at the time that this was done, we had 136 permits that were active. I know we've added a couple more since then.
Awesome. Great. All right. Any questions of Mr. Hall about the general planning and zoning? I will tell you guys this. We have adopted some checklists that we're going to use in the planning and zoning and building department in order to accomplish all of the various inspections that a developer and builder has to go through. Not only will that allow us to work in an organized manner to make sure that all of the inspections that are required by the building code and by the ordinances are done, but it will also, in the very beginning, allow us to give those checklists to the builders and to the developers so they understand what's required of them too, because there has been some confusion. You know, this is a 3-year-old city, and naturally there have been some growing pains, and this is one area where the rules have been imposed and changed on builders and developers and on our own staff. It's been a moving target, but now I think we have it all distilled in writing. Builders and developers will be given a copy of all of that at the outset, and our staff, Mr. Hall particularly, will be utilizing all of that in order to document in an organized manner how all of those various inspections are accomplished. So I think it will be a much more smooth operating machine going forward. Mr. Hall, I'm going to move to item 11B. I will notify you. Well, go ahead. Let's just do item 11B.
All right. Here we have an application for rezoning for a property at 342 Old Jackson Road. Currently, the Tuckers live there, and it is zoned A1, and they are asking to rezone to C2. It did come before the Planning and Zoning Commission at the last meeting, and they unanimously voted approval of recommendation for this property to be rezoned as C2.
Is this something we have to have a hearing on?
The hearing took place in front of the, Planning and Zoning Commission. It is required whenever you amend your zoning ordinance or rezone a property, a public hearing is required under state law. It's already happened. If you vote to approve it, you'll be adopting an ordinance that we provided for you. I think Zach brought a hard copy that does make a finding that there was both a change in character of the neighborhood and publicly justifying it. Conversely, if you vote not to accept the recommendations of P and Z board, you'll be finding that those two preconditions do not exist.
Okay. Sheriff Tucker, you want to be heard on this? You want to say anything?
Just briefly, first of all, it's been great to work with Will and John's right. The meeting was held on the 28th last month. We provided everything as outlined in your ordinance for rezoning. There were no objections. I'd like that to be known by any of the surrounding landowners. They were properly notified. I've spoken with all of them. This is just a matter of we're ready to move on the property, and the traffic has become such that I think commercial development is the way to go there. There's commercial development on either side of Old Jackson Road there, industrial and commercial development. Right next door on one side to the north and 2 doors down on the south. Mr. Soller's got a 15 storefront business there. Madison Landscapes on the north side. I think this is just the logical next step. And the only other house remaining between myself and Mr. Soller, I think we even tell you they're in the process of coming before you to ask for the same type of consideration for their property. So unless you have any questions, I think we'll sit it perfect.
Any questions of Sheriff Tucker?
Tell us about the noise you hear at night. That was a shock, sort of.
Well, you know, and first of all, I'm not against any progress.
Sure.
I think it's great, and it's, you know, inevitable when you grow in a city. But Fastenal has a speed bump every 5 feet, I think, and those empty box trucks hitting them. I mean, it's like the Germantown band standing in my front yard, you know, hitting it every 5 seconds. You know, those contain M-Techs are not M-Tech anymore, but right there at Church and Old Jackson on the northwest corner there, they have the big containers where they replate that stuff, and they drop those, and it's just, it's annoying. You know, that used to be 16th section cotton fields and 2-lane peaceful roadway when I bought that property in '98, and you know, progress has changed it.
It's literally grown up around you.
It has.
We
Of
talked
course,
about
now
this
with
years
development
ago.
down Church Road, you know, Mr. Sollers wraps around behind my house, and now Church Road is developing with Hartley and all those. I know all those guys, and I'm not trying to stand in the way. I'm just asking for consideration to rezone the property, and I'll gladly move.
So you're moving on?
We are. I mean, I still love Lux staff. They're going to protect it and work with the city, but yeah, we are. I'm comfortable and looking forward to getting back to it.
All right, any other questions?
Let's say somebody purchases this property and you get up for sale, it's T2, are they gonna plan on coming in and tear the house down and build some building in between the houses, or do you have any idea what that's gonna look like?
That's a great question. We actually have a buyer lined up for the property. This is rezoning as part of condition or contingency for that purchase. But the site plan, which is part of what is required under your ordinance to be submitted, is exactly as it exists. It's a construction company. They're going to use the existing home as an office. They're going to use the existing shop as their maintenance shop. And there's an outdoor room in the back that they're going to use as a tool room. Aside from that, there's no change at all to the property other than signage or whatever, you know, they'll need whatever you lay out for them as far as signage is what they'll have to follow. But we do have a buyer, and it is a commercial business.
And the neighbors are good with that, if that was
They filed no objections, and like I said, the only neighbor still there residentially is in the process of coming before you next to the site.
And I would add, Mayor, so you know, you are not limited to the evidence that was presented at the Planning and Zoning Commission, you are allowed, Supreme Court ruled many times when it comes to legislative matters, to use your own personal knowledge and familiarity with the local area in making determinations.
Okay, Sheriff Tucker, thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
I'll ask if anybody is here to be heard in opposition to it. All right, having heard none, is there a motion then to approve the application for rezoning from A1 to C2? Motion. Mr. Taylor made the motion. Do you want to speak, Mr.
Yes, sir. Can we just have it with, the contention with the, if we were to be changed? Trying to remember the wording that Casey told me, that they had, and maybe it was in with the P and Z sent to us. If something changes with it, that's all contingent upon that.
The change in the characteristics.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So you're good on that?
Right.
Now that's a finding that the board has to make as justification for the rezoning. There's been a change in the character of the neighborhood and what else?
Public need.
And a public need. So those are findings that you guys, as a matter of the legislative body, need to make in order to approve the zoning change. And I think it clearly has been, but that's the,
I think the P and Z was more like in the future if, with the overlay district or with the comprehensive plan coming in, if we look at it a different way. But anyway, I'm fine with it. I would like to second the motion.
okay, so Mr. Taylor made the motion, Mr. Powell seconded the motion. Any further discussion? All right. Finding that there has been a change in the neighborhood and the public need, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, good, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Scanlon? Okay. All right. Congratulations, Sheriff Tucker. Let's go to item 11C.
Yes, this brings us to the consideration of approval of the Magnolia Commons sign standard. Each development with 5 or more tenants has to develop their own personal sign standard, which outlines what the signs can look like. They can even restrict them in this case, like this one restricts it even to who can make the sign. But this does define the sign as far as colors, lighting. It cannot be less restrictive than our own city ordinance. And in this case, it is more restrictive. So it's well within the guidelines of the city. And P&Z board did look it over, discuss it, and they unanimously approved the recommendation of approval to the board.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hall. Any questions or comments about this proposed Magnolia Commons sign standard? All right, is there a motion then to approve the Magnolia Commons sign standard? Mr. Slade made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Mr. Hall, and for anyone else listening, item 11D, Mr. Hutchinson has asked the board to allow him to table this matter, continue it until our August meeting. He is working through various issues, and I would certainly request and hope that you guys will allow him to table this item 11D until our August meeting. So can I have a motion then to allow him to do so, to approve the continuance or tabling of this matter until our August meeting?
I'll make that motion.
All right, Mr. Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. Ms. Keller, what is the date certain of our August 13th?
It's August 13th.
August 13th.
Second Tuesday.
Okay, so I'll take it then, Mr. Powell having made a motion and Mr. Taylor seconded to table this till our August 13th meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
And Mayor, I would just note for anybody who is here in support of or against, that all service and process is going to be continued to that date without further notice for republication if anybody is here. So they are given notice by virtue of the motion.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Hutchinson. All right, item 12, Public Works Department, Mr. Buckner. So I want to take this opportunity to when was Public Works Appreciation Week or Day? When was it?
Third week in May.
Third week in May. I want to show you guys what our Public Works Department has been up to.
The third week of May.
Yeah. This is where they were. Great job. You got a good team over there, and we really appreciate all you do. So thank you for all of that.
It's like a trial exhibit.
All right, let's talk about 12A.
All right, I believe that is the County Stations Parkway grant, and we are requesting the board allow the mayor to sign for activation of that grant. That'll be the first step in order for us to get started, and we can move on to the next step for each meeting.
All right, any questions about the Calhoun Station overlay project? We need to activate it. This is the first of many steps, but the first one we gotta take.
So we're still a year or so away from actually.
Yes, sir.
doing
Well,
work.
this one will be a little bit quicker. It's just an overlay. There's not as much into it as far as design and things like that. We should be able to, if everything goes right, hopefully by next summer, we should be done with this.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion then to allow us to begin that project activation for the Calhoun Station Parkway overlay project?
Move.
Mr. Slade made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, 12B.
All right, this is much of the same reasoning. It's just for the Gluckstadt Road capacity improvement. This is our larger grant. This is going to be a multi-year, going on into FY 29. Just depending on how much progress we can make and how fast. This is going to be an extensive process that would take a good while for us to get done.
All right, any questions at all about the Gluckstadt Road capacity improvement project?
Funding, The city's putting in 3.5, so we said over the next 4 years.
Yes, sir. We don't really get into the two column mark until FY 28. That would be construction phase. We're looking at roughly 50,000 for FY 24, 600,000 for 25, 300,000 for engineering, and then we start getting into some right of way purchase in 26. So we'll be looking at about maybe 1 million around there, something like that. FY 27, we'll still be finishing up right of way purchase, hopefully finish it there. Sometimes that right of way purchase can take a little while and we get some holdouts. But we'll look at about 400,000 there, and then we'll go 2 million predicted for FY 28, and then finish out with about 1.5 in FY 29.
And we're committing, I guess we're legally, technically committing to this amount, these dates now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but we're not really committing anything except for preliminary engineering and working on right of way purchases now. We could, spend the money on that and then realize that we don't want to spend the 3-4 million down the road, and we can back out.
That's correct. This is just the first step to activate the project, so him got started.
Yeah, it's not.
Process, part of the LPA process.
Okay.
And Chris, just for clarification, although it's in the memo from, to the mayor, this is the westbound through lane of Gluckstadt Road from 55 southbound ramp to Planters Road. Planters Row is
Red Oak.
Red Oak.
Red Oak, yes.
That's as far as this expansion or widening.
This is basically kind of like the first phase of getting Gluckstadt Road widened.
It's not the complete distance by any means.
That's complete distance.
To the city limit. Okay.
This is just purely to get some capacity in there to help with some of the traffic.
How many lanes will this add?
One.
That's what I thought, it was 1 lane. A lot of money for 1 lane.
Well, you got a right of way purchase and then moving all the storm
And the
drains,
ditches,
power lines,
culverts.
ditches, gas lines, ceasefire lines, everything's gotta be moved. So
Yeah.
that's a process right there.
Okay.
All right, is there a motion then to allow this project activation?
Make the motion, sir.
Powell made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Bates seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now let's talk about term bids, item 12C.
All right, this is the same term bids that y'all approved last year when Mike brought them up. It's just gonna be for our yearly bids, and the 1 6-month bid that we just did in the springtime comes back up in the fall. But we're just asking y'all's approval to go ahead and advertise to get that process started.
So this is simply asking approval for us to advertise for the term bids.
Yes, sir.
Any questions of Mr. Buckner about that? All right, is there a motion then to allow authorization to advertise for the term bids?
Move.
Mr. Slay made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Taylor seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Mr. Buckner, 12C,
12D.
12D, I'm sorry, 12D.
As y'all know, we got approval, y'all approved to pave some of the streets in Red Oak. Before we pave those streets, good general practice to repair the bad curb and gutter that's in there to prevent water from holding on the ground and degrade the asphalt. We're just asking y'all to approve us to spend the $16,400 to get multiple spots in Red Oak fixed ahead of the paving.
All right, $16,400 for curb and gutter repair. Any questions of Mr. Buckner? All right, is there a motion then for approval?
Move.
Mr. Slade made the motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Powell seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, now item 12E has to do with amendment to Public Works subdivision regulations. We're not going to ask for the board to approve or vote on them tonight. There are some discussion topics that you want to have or give the opportunity for discussion.
Yes, sir.
And I believe there are a typographical error here or there in the proposed regulations that we want to work out, and we'll vote on them ahead of our next meeting in July. But
Yes, sir.
You go ahead, you have the floor, Mr.
Well,
Butler.
we're looking to just amend what has already been approved. There is some text in there that, is kind of convoluted and could get lost. A couple of them being that technically everything since this was adopted is supposed to have had curb and gutter and sidewalks. But it's very small. It's not very well done in there. So we're looking to expand that text to make it easier for everybody to be able to read. Right now, the sidewalk is just 1, 2 little letters in the table. So we wanted to expand on that. We also changed the approval process for subdivisions and commercial developments to more mimic zoning regulations that just got passed, so that we wouldn't have 2 different documents saying 2 different things. It's get a concept plan in. Once the concept plan is approved, we look at the construction plans after that. Once the construction plans are approved by the Public Works, they're able to start developing, and then it'll come before y'all for final plat once they are finished.
Okay, so you're gonna finalize these, get them in final form, circulate them to the board, well in advance of our next meeting. So that all of them can consider it and think about what they wanna do. In the interim, do you guys have any questions or comments about the proposed text amendments as they've been given to you so far?
I looked at them. I think they're, well established. These have been, I guess, around and used for a while, so I assume they're well tried and proven. I thought y'all did a good job on them. One question I got, are you aware of any residential subdivision that could be utilized?
We've actually talked with a gentleman that's came in. He wants to get a residential subdivision off Stout Road. So he's came in a couple times, just kind of see what he needs to do, get input on how, we would take whatever they would submit. He wants to be able to submit it once and not have to keep going back and forth. So we've been talking with him about that. It's just a single lane street, large acre estate properties. Everything will be over, I think, 2 acres.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Buckner, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, let's go to item 13. Chief Hale.
Good evening. Well, I have a good update. We, since the last board meeting, we wrote 487 tickets. We made 10 misdemeanor arrests, 1 felony arrest. We covered 6 guns and we made 1 DUI arrest. Accidents have gone down, which I attribute to my guys being out there writing 487 tickets. They were 16. As of this date, we've served 89 warrants. And update you on the building. We were over there yesterday. I did drive by there today. They have outside. They started working on the dirt work and leveling out the dirt to get parking lot's going to be next. The inside is looking great. Y'all want to go and look? I'll take you on a tour one day when it's dry now. So now's a good time. But they've got electricity run. As of yesterday, they had tiled the bathrooms, the floors, and the walls. So it's starting to look more and more like a police department. And we're still on the line schedule for August, the end of August. Other than that is all I have.
487 tickets.
Yes, 487.
In a month?
Is that up or down from last month?
I would have to, if you look on Facebook, you can see it would be up from.
It was 400 something last month.
And what's crazy is most of those are coming in from a part-timer, so he's doing what we
So, are you seeing any sign that people are taking heed and slowing down and following the law at all on Buckstead Road?
They are, yes, sir.
487 of them didn't, apparently.
And believe it or not, that's not all just Buckstead Road. That's Buckstead, Calhoun, even out on South. Even if you go way out to South 51 out there, no man's land. They're just, I guess they think they can go out there and speed, and they find out real quick you can't do that. So
I just really wish, again, people would just take an extra minute and slow down.
Yeah.
I wish this number would be 0 next month, but it's not going to be 0 next month.
And not all of them are speeding tickets. Majority of them are. Some of them are 10. You got no driver's license, no seatbelt, and that sort of thing. But most of them are speeding, unfortunately. Everybody's in a hurry to go somewhere. So.
All right, any questions of Chief Hale? Chief Hale, thank you, and thank you guys for.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Kellum, anybody sign our sign-up sheet? Yes, sir, I'm gonna butcher this. Mr. Trone? Yes, sir. You are with Four Seasons Nails.
Yes, sir.
You came before us last month? Or was that somebody else?
Somebody else.
Okay, okay. All right, you're here to talk about a moratorium on nail salons.
Yes,
We
sir.
allow people 5 minutes, so you have your 5 minutes, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hello, Mayor and board member. Thank you for having me. My name is Don June, and I'm here tonight because I'm a concert business. My wife and I opened Four Seasons Nail a year ago. Since then, there are already 2 more. I think there are too many nail salons that are so close together. This has hurt my business because a new salon are cutting their price. I'm sorry. My wife and I are the only one working at our salon and with the high rent price. It's hard. All I'm asking is that we put a distance between the nail salon so everyone can make it. And
Okay, thank you, sir.
thank you.
All right, at this time, the board has a need to go into closed session for the training. I'm sorry.
Could I grab 5 minutes?
Yes, sir, you can. I thought you had your file. I invited you here.
Well,
Go ahead, Lee.
No, and it's not regarding the overlay district. It was just when Chris brought up the public works subdivision regulations, I noticed in that amendment, no open ditches are allowed, and they must have curbs, I'm assuming gutters, if it's not open ditch, and sidewalks for commercial development. Not that familiar with that, but I would assume that would look great in commercial developments. The cost is pretty exponentially higher. I know that would probably fit in great with the overlay district, things like that. Just urge the board to maybe consider that for all commercial developments. That may not be the best avenue to take, because the way I read that just then, it would apply to all of them. I definitely see that for a residential development, that you need to have curb and gutter and sidewalks. There are some that I've been to that don't have sidewalks, and it's kind of a nightmare. But just looking at that for all commercial projects or developments, I think I would just consider that, a little bit more of, one, for the cost, and two, for what type of development it would be. Like, we did not, I'm not sure how that would consider, how that would fit in with the property that we owned, which was done in before the city, but we had to personally build the streets, and the land is not platted, so I'm not sure that would apply to that we'd be considered a full-blown development. But if you're building streets and where that definition falls in of development, if we had to build curb and gutter and sidewalks at that time, that would probably change the environment of that property. So I think with being a new city and seeing where that is, I don't know if we would, I would just consider where that always applies, and if it would apply citywide for those developments. So that's all I have. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
When you guys were building the roads and as the land developed through the years, did that concept ever come up at the county level?
No, ma'am.
I didn't think so.
No, I don't believe they ever even. We just had to provide the engineering for the roads and the ditches and the stormwater detention. So It's been a long time ago, but I doubt they would have that forethought to do that. I just, yeah, no.
Cause as Rick's Pro, is it Rick's Pro in the corner?
Yes.
Yeah, Rick's Pro did theirs, you know, they did a decent ditch concept.
Yeah.
Some, what do you call the rock?
Rip wrap.
Did that, so that's a visual and aesthetic that kind of helps that erosion mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I definitely think it fits in some commercial development. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I just don't know if it should apply to every commercial development. And this may solve itself with the overlay district, you know, so that I just would consider that before y'all make a determination that it would apply to every commercial development.
Thank you, Mr.
Yep, thank y'all.
All right, at this time, the board has a need to enter into closed session to determine the need for executive session. Is there a motion to enter into closed session?
Make a motion, sir.
I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Slade, second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we are in closed session. Thank you guys all for coming.